2, 3. This is your boy, Ice Revolver over at AAA Gaming. I hope you guys had happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrated for the end of 2018. Happy New Year, bringing into 2019. And this is our first podcast for 2019, for the new year. You know what I mean? Thank you. So a lot of things going around about Red Dead Online. I'm not going to try to waste any time. There's only a few questions. And the biggest question that's been going around lately for the past few weeks, towards the end of December, and those are carrying over into the new year, which is currently January, for those of you who don't know. And the biggest question right now is Red Dead Online dead? Is it DOA? Dead on arrival? It's definitely DOA. It definitely arrived dead. But that's the biggest question right now. And it's kind of easy to answer, because in my opinion, it would be yes, it's dead. But it's kind of a little complicated to get into, so that it breaks down further into why or what's going on that's causing it to be dead. And of course, this will hopefully sway newcomers and past players if they should continue to play, or is it even worth getting right now? Especially if you're getting it only for the online. Like, a lot of people buy GTA 5 really for the online. That, like, a new player will buy GTA most likely for the online. They probably won't play the single player campaign as much. So right now, if you're one of those people that's looking to pick up Red Dead, who's probably looking to play it only for the online, and you're spending $60, is it worth spending money to play right now? There's a lot there. So I will first break it down by asking, is it worth playing right now? Is Red Dead Online worth playing right now? New players and old players. I would currently say no for both, especially old players. Actually, that would be an especially for both sides. For old players, there's nothing to do, and it's causing griefers, what the community are dubbing griefers in the game right now. People with too much time on their hands. It was only 8 story missions. It's 2 handfuls of stranger missions, and that's it. And that gets very repetitive when the online has been out for about 5 weeks or so. That I think I can speak for myself and probably a couple friends that I've played with, that majority, if not all of those missions, were finished within the first day or two. So after that, what do? You just repeat missions, or you explore the world, you go hunting, which is why a lot of people started hunting to get money, because hunting was a little more exciting, and the payoff was better than doing the missions. And you just kind of got tired of the missions. When I can fish here, I can fish there, I can hunt here, I can hunt there, I can travel the mountain, and the missions is just a linear path. You go do this. You just don't get to experience the world for a 10-15 minute mission maybe. So for new players right now, it's just causing griefers. No, everyone has too much time on their hands. They don't know what to do. They don't want to do what's there, and you just end up messing with other players and messing up their experience if they're not trying to do this PvP thing that you're trying to force on them, like a Dark Zone and the Division or so. So that's for old players. So I would say no, it's not worth playing right now, because it's messing up with people that want to actually experience Red Dead Online regularly, and it's messing up the new players that's coming in, who's getting trolled by griefers. So their experience out the gate is being bad. Not to mention that they have to deal with things that we had to deal with when we first came in, which was on release. So no, it's especially bad for old players, and it's messing up the game. And it's especially bad for new players who paying $60 for that experience. So I would say no, it's not worth playing right now for new players or old players. And there's a lot more I can go into it. It's like being in a desert. It is a desert to a degree. It's Wild West, kind of like being in a desert most of the land, or a lot of the land, especially in the Armadillo region. But I don't know, man. It's just a severe lack of content, and it's been, like I said, I want to say 5 weeks, maybe more, maybe 6 weeks or so. It's been at least 4 weeks, so I'll say 5 weeks though, because we're already within the first week of January. As far as the online, and it's lacking in content. There's literally nothing to do that you haven't already done probably 100 times by now. If you're a person who has played it on release, you've done everything there is to do in that game, and you've done it multiple times in a day, let alone over a period of 4, 5, 6 weeks. Whether it's getting money, whether it's getting XP, which is very tedious as far as the XP. I don't know, man. It's not worth it right now at all. Next question would be, what's missing in the online that's causing it to be the way it is? Now, this is a harder question. Per se, it's one of the things. It's easy for me to say content, but it actually goes deeper than that. The easy answer would be content. It's missing things to do. But right now, would content really matter in the long run for Red Dead? Is probably the bigger question here. So that will lead me to my next question: is, even if they added more missions, how much time would really be added to the game? How much replayability would really be there? I don't know. Even if they added, let's say, I think it's 8 story missions right now. Even if they added, let's say, another 20 story missions or 15 story missions just to finish whatever. Even if they added 10, whatever. Okay, that'll be that. The story missions will be done. Then they added, let's say, 20, and we talking about, this is not in the entire span of its life cycle, which let's say is around 5 years. Let's just say, to get it to a good space, let's say within the next month or two, and they added 10 more, 15 more story missions, and they added 20 more stranger missions or 30 more stranger missions. How much replayability, even with that, and you add some type of heist, whether it's bank heist, train heist, and all that, how much replayability would still be there? Like, I'm not sure with what they have or what they're showing Red Dead Online to be, minus the content. I can only assume that they're going to add more content that's like the content that's already there, minus the heists. I don't think any heists are in the game as is, but more stranger missions and more of these story missions, I'm guessing it's what they're going to be adding. I don't know. We haven't been told anything to say different, like there's some type of new type of mission there, even though they also have multiplayer, as far as like death matches, a battle royale mode, and different size team death matches and things like that in the game also. I don't know how long even that would last right now. GTA 5 was an experience unlike any other when it released. I think a lot of people are burnt out on GTA 5 being, not necessarily being the way it is, but it's just been 5 years. So we've kind of done it. And I think Red Dead Online doesn't have that nostalgia aspect and that surprise aspect that GTA 5 had. We're used to that format now for the past 5 years in the GTA's lifespan. So you got to you can't copy and paste GTA 5 to Red Dead Online. I feel like that's probably what's going to happen, and I can't say that that's going to really bring much to Red Dead Online. Now, this is officially 2019, right? We have a lot of, I want to go over. So in the state that Red Dead Online is in right now, I don't think it's playable, but I don't think you're going to get too much enjoyment out of it. Maybe a few days, maybe a week, depending on how much you play a day, something like that. But I don't think it's going to last. As far as anybody playing the game, I don't think it's going to last. Right now, if you're asking me, Ice Revolver, hey, should I buy this game right now? I haven't played it. I would say if you're buying it for the online, no. If you're buying it for the campaign, and maybe you're catching it on sale, maybe $40 or so, yes, go ahead and buy it for the single player experience, which is nice. I think it's roughly 60 hours or 60 to 100 hours, something like that, depending on if you do all the side missions, this, that, and the other. Then you got an epilogue, and it's like it's very nice. It's very fun. Some things can get repetitive, but there's a lot of twists, turns. There's a lot of things going on. I enjoyed the story. It was lacking in some of the story aspects, but the gameplay was there. The atmosphere was there. Like, overall, I enjoyed the campaign itself. Right now, if you asking me again for strictly the online, because you're an online player, no, definitely do not buy if you only purchasing it for the online. And we're, I want to say, roughly 5 weeks into it. Okay, let's go to this is January now, so let's say within this next month, or because they haven't, and this is a real big issue with me, Rockstar hasn't come out and said that I've seen anything about, okay, we got an update coming a couple weeks, few weeks or whatever, and it's gonna bring this, that, up. So you really just don't know the state. Anybody could just say, hey, there's an update coming, but what does that mean? Is it bugs? Is it fixes? Is it gameplays? New various gameplay methods? Is it new multiplayer game types? Is it new story missions? Is it new multiplayer missions? Is it new open world missions? Is it new? Are you expanding the map for Canada or adding Mexico? Like, what is an update? What is in the update? And I don't think they've ever come out to say, oh, this is what this is. This is what it's like. They had some, but they seems to manage to put out patches in forms of updates to change different things around the map, to stop people from hunting certain ways, to change the prices or the cost and prices of things. Those keep coming out, and then they added the store, but you still haven't added with the whole issue with causing griefers to fix that. Like, so I don't know. So right now I can't say that this month or next month you're finna get actual content for the game. So with that said, in 2019 January, we have kind of two big games coming out this month. There's other games, but there's also two, I would say, two big games, which is Resident Evil 2, Kingdom Hearts 3. Why I bring that up? Because when you have a game like Red Dead, when you finish the campaign and now you're in the online and it doesn't have anything to do, most people would tend to move on to other games. Now, a game can fix itself like GTA 5 did. A game can fix itself, but I think for the most part you have a certain amount of time, and you have to have, it has to be big. Also, The Division did this, tried to do this multiple times, and then they got a lot right with update 1.8 that brought a lot of people back. But what a lot of people won't tell you is that happened at the end of the year. I think that was November, December, or something around that. It might have been a little bit before, if I'm not mistaken, when update 1.8 came out that fixes a whole lot of things. In December, there wasn't really anything to play. The Call of Duties and Battlefields, they wasn't really popping like there was Star Wars or whatever it was. That was end of last year. Um, so yeah, so it was Battlefield. Oh no, it was actually Star Wars, Battlefront 2, which we all know what happened with that. And then you had Call of Duty World War 2, which is probably the two games that people bought in the last quarter of last year that would have took them easily into the new year and through the winter or whatever the case is. Those are the October, November, December games. Those are two of the big games that does that. So the Division's 1.8 update was like right on time to it. It made a bad game, or was seemingly to be a bad game or decent game, way better at a very, very, very good time for them. So a lot of people went back to the Division and played that for like the entire winter, along with Monster Hunter, which came out at a great time. So people moved on when you don't, and I don't know a lot of people that went back to World War II or went back to Battlefront 2. So you kind of got a window. Red Dead is a big title. It shouldn't even be in this state, but right now it's in this state. January we got two heavy hitters. I would say heavy hitters coming out. Right after that in February, you know what I'm saying? That's saying that Red Dead Online or Rockstar doesn't get their ducks in a row this month, and we don't get that content. Come February, would you be still looking for that content? In February we have Overkill's Walking Dead, which is a co-op or multiplayer game, live action shooter, coming out. We have Metro Exodus in February coming out. We have Jump Force in February. We have Far Cry New Dawn in February. Dead or Alive 6 in February. Crackdown 3 in February. You also have Anthem in February, along with other games. Those are just 7 that I just named in February. Are we still looking for Red Dead Online content? Even if it dropped, will it really be that interesting or worth really going back to at that point in time? If it's not a huge, like a Division 1.8 update, if they just popped in 5 new missions and 5 new story missions and they put in 10 new stranger missions, I don't see myself going back to Red Dead Online at that point in time. I'm not finna reinstall. I'm not finna, right now it's installed, but I'm considering uninstalling it. Because it takes up a lot of space. It's probably like 80 to 100 gigs or something like that for no reason. I try to keep it installed to try out new things or find new things in the multiplayer to bring to you guys, or at least on the channel. Shout out AAA Gaming Network on Facebook Gaming. If you're watching this, then you here or should be here, or somebody might have shared it. Who knows? Whatever. But I don't want to force content. I don't want to force myself to play a game that I'm not enjoying just to do tedious things to show you a 5-minute video or 10-minute video. Like, there's literally nothing for me to do in the game, and I don't want to be one of those channels that just keeps on beating a dead horse. I'm not enjoying Red Dead Online. A lot of people not enjoying Red Dead Online. I could be a griefer and then just mess with people and then bring you guys that, but I don't know if that'd be entertaining. It wouldn't be entertaining to me. I experience griefers. I try not to be involved with them. I try to leave once people start, then I start back. Then they want to get more people to try to join them, or they want to run away, or whatever the case is. So it's like, dude, why you starting a fight that you don't want to finish? Nobody got time for this. I'm trying to be productive, either getting XP, we're trying to get money, and people just mess with you. I don't know, it's just not fun for me to play. And I feel like me trying to make content for it right now, or even play it right now, is just kind of productive when there's other things I can be playing, or other things I can be doing. Going into March, right? So let's just say they drip feed the content going into March, and let's say they bring you another 5 missions or whatever the case, and X amount of stranger missions, and put in whatever content modes or maps. You also have Devil May Cry 5 in March. You have The Division 2 in March. You have Sekiro in March. Now, just in those first 3 months, Kingdom Hearts, I think Kingdom Hearts and Resident Evil 2 are going to be big. And that's, maybe I'm overthinking on the Resident Evil 2 aspect, because it's one of my favorite franchises. I would think most people think, who have played the Resident Evil franchise, that Resident Evil 2 was a great game. So now that it's been remade, I think it's going to do well. I don't know if it has a multiplayer. I think it's going to do well. I think people are going to be playing that at least for a decent amount of time, at least probably for the year or for a few months or whatever, depending on how often you play. Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be a big game for people in January. For Anthem, Crackdown 3, as far as co-op and multiplayers, and probably Overkill's Walking Dead are going to be huge in February, right? And I'm saying the multiplayer, because multiplayers drag on for X amount of time when it comes to playing them. It's normally not a month or two. If they're good, it's not a month or two. They normally drag on for a year or 2 years or whatever the case, depending on how the content is fed and if they're updating it or not. The Division 1 went on for about 2 years, 2.5 years, or something like that, maybe 3, something around there. If you look at the time frame of the Division 2 coming out from the Division 1. So those some hitters. And then if you're buying the single player games, that could take you a month or two, depending on how often you play it or whatever the case, and you playing other games. Metro Exodus, a lot of people looking forward to. Jump Force is a multiplayer game. I know a lot of people are fans of whether it's animes or mangas, are going to be buying that and diving into that. Fighters, you got Dead or Alive 6 coming out. Then that takes you into March, where you got Devil May Cry 5, which I'm guessing is only going to be a single player. Then you got the Division 2, which is a big multiplayer. And you got Cicado, which I'm thinking is a single player. Then that leads you into April. You got Mortal Kombat 11. You got May. You got Rage 2. So there's, in the first quarter and a little past the first quarter, there's some heavy hitters coming out. Are we going to continue to care about what's going on with Red Dead Online, with games that I just mentioned, games like those coming out this month, next month, the month after? I don't know if it will survive the first quarter, or maybe not even the first 2 quarters of 2019. It's in a very, very broken state right now. And like I said, I can easily say, oh man, just put in content, that'll fix it. I don't know that's going to happen. I don't know that doing only that would fix it. I think you can prolong it a little bit, but if you drip feeding it like that, like again, you had 8 story missions or 6 story missions. I want to say 6 or 8 story missions originally on day 1. And then you had X amount of stranger missions, and then you had the multiplayer stuff on day 1. But within the first couple of days, people was already done with that. Within the first week, I would assume most people was tired of that, and that's where you get people griefing at. Week 2, people probably well into griefing. So these past possibly 3 weeks, it's been in the state that it's in now. Can 5 more story missions, if you're drip feeding it, and let's just say they're not doing one big update, drip feeding 5 new missions or 10 new missions here and whatever there, I don't think that's going to help it. That can prolong it a little bit. What, for a day? Someone jumps on, finish those missions within a day or 2, and then they're back to griefing. I don't know. So why do I think the game is in the state that it's in is the next and final question. Why do I think Red Dead Online is in the state that it's in? That's a very tough question to ask, and I would assume it would be, why is it in the state that it's in? Why it's out? It's out to the public. Why is it in this state that it's in while it's out, or when it's out in the public? It's hard to say. But as long as they've taken to make this game, I don't think there's no reason why it's in the state that it's in. And we're talking about the people that made GTA 5, so they know what content to put in the game, or to put in the game like this. Why it released with as little content as it did, why does it still have as little content as it has, is like a mystery to me. I couldn't tell you first thing about what Rockstar is doing. I'm lost. Like I don't know. I don't know why it's in its current state that it's in. And once again, I can't say only content would fix it. Maybe that's their dilemma. Maybe they're thinking, man, we can't just, it wouldn't work the same as GTA 5. Like, even if maybe they're thinking kind of like the way I'm thinking, the way a lot of people's probably thinking. Well, if we do missions and we do just put in more stranger missions and story missions and death match types for multiplayer, is that really gonna fix it? Is it really gonna be, you know what I mean, close to the level, or would it be on the pedestal or close to the pedestal of GTA 5? And no, I still don't think it would be. Again, I think GTA 5 was a nostalgia thing. We waited on that game for a while. When it released, it was crapola. You can barely log on. Then when you did, it was like this, with a handful of missions that people had to keep on repeating. Rockstar tried to fix that by excuse me, putting cooldown timers. Let me give me some water. Excuse me. Whew. Thank you. Putting cooldown timers on missions, which wasn't the answer. The answer was give people more missions to do that's worth doing. Eventually they did that. They added the heist. They added a lot that was sprinkled in. When Red Dead Online came out, I would assume that it would almost pick up where GTA 5 or GTA Online left off. I thought they was gonna have plenty missions, story missions, plenty content just ready to go. When you hopped in the world, it was gonna be many things to do, and it's not. I don't know why it's not. I don't know if they figured that scenario wouldn't work, and maybe that they're busy working on that content. But in my opinion, then maybe you shouldn't have released the game. Whether you want to put the beta tag on it or not, it doesn't take away from the fact that the game is the way it is, which is unacceptable to a degree. And if you think that it's been out 5 weeks or whatever the case, and we still haven't gotten those missions or any more content to cut down on the griefers, to just give players something to do, is even more crazy. Also, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why exactly it is the way it is. I don't really know what they can do to fix it with the blueprint that they've set. And if I'm taking the beta for what it is, and let's not get it twisted, we all know that most online games release out of their beta, they're not that much different from when they was in the beta. Let's make that perfectly clear. We've had a lot of games come out last year that was trash, that came out of beta that was still trash. A lot of games that came out of alpha going into beta was still like it was in the alpha. Maybe you fix some bugs or glitches, exploits, whatever the case is, but the game still lacked a lot. Coming from alpha to beta, and then from beta to the actual release still wasn't much different. Most games have been doing that for the last few years. They try to trick you to be like, oh, this is just a sample. You know what I mean? Things are going to be, prime example, The Crew 2 that released in the summer of 2018, which was a game I was looking for. I love The Crew 1. I love the developers. A lot of them came from excuse me, the Test Drive franchise, the Test Drive Unlimited franchise, which I love, both of them. And a lot of their crew went into, I want to say it's Eden Games, which made The Crew and made The Crew 2. The Crew 2 was in a bad state, and I played The Crew beta, and I was like, well, The Crew 2's beta, and I was like, well, it's going to be a lot more things to do. It's going to look better. It's going to be a lot different. When the game released, it was not. It was not. And we're talking about a game that didn't even have the PvP content in it until December. The game released in the summer, and it didn't even have the PvP, which should have been in it out of box until this past December. So games, let's not get it twisted again. Games that's in beta are not that much different outside the beta. These last few years has proved. I don't know why that is. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they figure people feedback is not that bad in beta, so let's just release it now. I don't know. Maybe we, the consumers, have to do more in these alphas and betas with feedback to say, hey, no, this is bad, this is jacked up, this is horrible, this is trash, and then maybe it wouldn't release. Maybe they, you know what I mean? Like maybe that would have them think twice. Like, oh man, we got a 90% bad. Like there's a lot of bad. We can't release it like this. Like it's we. I don't know. Maybe we're not doing our part when we're in these alphas and beta tests enough. A lot of people nowadays probably just want to be in the beta just to play games early and probably just not even giving feedback. Probably not even doing the surveys. I don't know what's going on, but there's like a communication breakdown to where the developers and production companies think it's cool to release these games early. I've seen games. What game just came out of early access? Atlas, I think, just came out of early access, and is all the way broken. So maybe this is a whole nother discussion. Maybe leaves for maybe I'm kind of getting off on the tangent. I don't want to start ranting, but I don't know why it is the way it is right now for Red Dead Online. I don't know what they can do to fix it. I hope something happens soon. Again, a lot of the games that I mentioned, I'm most likely going to be buying. So I can't say that I'm going to go back to play Red Dead Online, let alone play it consistently at all. Resident Evil 2 I'm getting for sure this month. Overkill's Walking Dead, I was in the beta on PC. I actually have to play that. I want to see it outside the beta though. Metro Exodus, supposed to be the end of the Metro series. I'm a fan. I had both the first two multiple times. I have them on PC and I have them on Xbox One. Far Cry New Dawn, I just finished Far Cry 5 recently, and actually I'm currently uploading the videos to that on the channel. So I'm interested to see, because this is a direct sequel. Dead or Alive 6, I've always been a fan of Dead or Alive, the Dead or Alive fighting series, and Ninja Gaiden. So I think 5 been out for 5 or 6 years or something like that. So yeah, I will be getting 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games for me. I was interested in Crackdown 3, but I seen like recent gameplay thing, and I don't know about that. That's a possible 6. I don't know. Let's just put that to the side right now. That's 5 in the possum. Anthem, I will be getting. That's 6. That takes me to January, February there. Of course, I'm getting the Division 2. I'm getting Cicado. I might not get Mortal Kombat 11, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a great game. Nothing to them. Pretty sure it's going to be a great game. I might end up getting, I don't know. That'll be like right on the heels of Dead or Alive. So I don't know about having 2 fighting games that close together. And the Rage 2 I will be getting. So I don't know, man. That's like 10 games, close to 10 games I'll be getting within the first quarter and a little thereafter. I don't know, man. You guys let me know what y'all think. Can Red Dead Online be saved? If so, what are your ideas on how to save it? What can they do? Like, again, we all can just say, oh man, just give us content. What content? What can they add to the game that will make it, I don't know, I don't want to say necessarily different than GTA 5, but what can they add to liven up the experience of what Red Dead Online beta, quote unquote beta, is currently? Are you guys even still playing the Red Dead Online right now? If not, what are you playing? Why did you leave? Would you be going back? Are you going back? Are you planning on getting any of the games that I mentioned? Are you a content creator? Do you currently still create content for Red Dead Online? Do you feel like you're forcing it the way I feel like I would be if I continue to try to do it? Or do you still like actually enjoy playing Red Dead Online? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. Tag me at Ice Revolver, or tag us at AAA Gaming Network. Put all your ideas or leave anything that you want to say in the comments below. We will be responding to you guys. Again, Happy New Year.